feel like I have loads of expressive ideas if I just played G Mixolydian or that approach or G blues. I kind of go. But if in my head I switch this to D Dorian and maybe even just start in a different place in the neck, I get a whole different sort of look at this.
This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library of
You can get the Truefire All Access Pass for as cheap as they ever do it, the $99 thing. So just jump and do that if you're looking for the best price you can get Truefire All Access for. If I'm being honest with you, I find it a bit difficult to play over the blues sometimes, and I kind of get stuck in a little bit this pentatonic-y thing, and you kind of think, right, it just sounds like minor pentatonic, playing that over everything. And then if you try and follow the changes on everything, then it also gets a little bit like, just a little bit hard, because you've got to see like 3 different keys at the same time, or you know, through the tune. I was on a live stream and Bruno suggested, could you try playing a major 7 over the dominant chord? I kind of figured out which major 7 chord would work, and I thought I'd share this with you in this video, so that's what this is about. Patreon will be the place to get the tab to go along with this and the backing track. The reason that all blues kind of makes sense of this is because we're kind of calling on some superimpositions to get over involved in creating this kind of sound. In a blues. So Bruno from Norway had asked, you know, could you use a major 7? He didn't actually specify where it was coming from, so I kind of did some maths in my head. And a G blues is sort of G Mixolydian, right? Therefore, if it's G dominant, the way that we could use a major 7 arpeggio in blues context, which I've never really thought about it in this way before, is if we build it from the step below. So over our 1, you would play a major 7 arpeggio built from the flat 7. So you get this sound. Yeah? And then you can resolve it to the 3rd. And you kind of get this sound of triad pairs, which is another thing to do. So, of course, we also know that in blues we have 3 other chords. So over our C, same principle, right? We're going to be building a major 7 from a flat 7 of C, which is B flat. Then back down to our G. So over our D7 we get a C major 7. So your goal really is to kind of find the most comfortable ways for you to play a major 7 arpeggio over the fretboard that you can find that are going to be suitable to phrase stuff with. So I really like stuff that kind of is around this D string. So if we just start with an F, like that maybe, or up here. That fingers quite well, as she said. What about over here? So we could try joining things up in that kind of way, and again obviously doing it from everywhere else. And the tricky bit really is holding these 2 things in your head, which is why I guess it kind of works a little bit for the blues better than other things, because you don't have to think about too hard what changes are coming next, but you're thinking in your head like, okay, I'm thinking G, I'm going to superimpose from the flat 7, right? And then you might want to think about how you resolve out of it. If you land on any one of the notes, you'll probably be fine actually. Let's just try that. Except for maybe the C, which you might want to resolve down. Like the major 7 has a really cool sound if you land on it. But you probably want to resolve back to a chord tone of G at some point. So map out your F. All over the neck. Oh, I guess we could talk about why it works. It's because we've got essentially the F over the G is our flat 7, the A is our 9, C is 11, right? And the B is our 13, right? So it's like a suspended. And that'd be another thing, like if you know this kind of chord voicing, that could be another way to visualize this. So if you got your G, if you got your C, or over here, and then D. Now, one other thing that I think this is kind of straight from the Miles Davis kind of school of what was happening in modal jazz really, is that you think about kind of the Dorian approach instead. So instead of thinking about this as a G7, approach it from the point of view of like a D Dorian. This kind of works quite well for me to kind of get out of this idea. Again, I don't really feel like I have loads of expressive ideas if I just play G Mixolydian or that approach or G blues. I kind of go. But if in my head I switch this to D Dorian and maybe even just start in a different place in the neck, I get a whole different sort of look at this. So, same kind of idea. Over the G, we're going to build from the 5th, our D Dorian. You could do this chordally as well. You hear that sound? It's about having a D at the top. Okay, so that's a really cool sound actually right here. If you haven't noticed, so D Dorian, G Mixolydian are the same set of notes essentially, right? So it's C major. That's kind of why this works theory wise. So if you don't know what D Dorian is, it is essentially a minor scale with a B in it, a D minor scale, but instead of a B flat we have a B, which is our 3rd of the G major, right? So anyway, what this essentially means actually as well, so we could play D minor, so the minor from the 5th and over our C, we're going to be playing G minor. And over the D, you guessed it, we'd be playing A minor. So that's kind of what's going on there, but also we could just play the pentatonic scale instead of our. We could play it built from the 5th, so you could get like a D minor. And notice where your roots are within the D minor. There's one. There's one. Sorry, that wasn't D minor. And just listen to that. And so also then for our C we'd get a G minor. For our D, A minor. And then the next sort of thing to do would be to practice kind of all of these concepts without having to jump around the neck. So say we're like around here with our G, But what are our options? We can either play an F major, then for our C, what are we playing? We're playing then a B flat major, and back to G. So we're now playing our F major. Then for our D, C major. To our B flat. Back to our G or our F major. And the same idea if you're doing your D minor to our C7, which our C7 is going to be a G minor, D, D minor, A minor, so you're not just jumping around and following like that. These are just some ideas that I thought these would immediately help me come up with some different sounds over, you know, these chords. The reason the minor works, we're building from the 5th. So we got the 5th of our G, then our F in D minor would be the flat 7 of G, then the A is our 9, then our 11 again, with the C, but yeah, just some ideas to get a bit more of a sophisticated sound over the blues that I'm really enjoying and making some immediate use of, and I think the goal will be to kind of join up then some of these structures, and kind of the smaller ones I suggest might be better. You could also consider some Tim Miller sort of stuff over it. Just maybe I'll come back to that on a different video, but you could use some other ideas. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this is a useful kind of video. Hopefully I'll be able to put some tabs together to kind of accompany it. But thanks so much for that idea, Bruno. I thought it was a really eye-opening one. Cheers for stopping by.